This woman thought she was an excellent mother, but everything changed when her son committed one of the worst massacres in history.
The last time I heard my son's voice was when he walked out the front door on his way to school. He called out one word in the darkness: "Bye."
Sue was Dylan Klebold's mother, one of the protagonists of the Columbine shooting, an event that marked the history of the United States and the existence of a mother who bears the sins of her son.
The cruel behavior that defined the end of his life showed me that he was a completely different person from the one I knew. Afterwards, people asked, "How could you not know? What kind of a mother were you?"
Sue, just like all the relatives of the victims, was scarred for the rest of her life by an event that she could not stop, but which she chose to view in a surprising way.
For years after the tragedy, I combed through memories, trying to figure out exactly where I failed as a parent.
Sue Klebold searched for an answer to understand what happened, for she not only saw a murderer, but a beloved son.
I feel a need to acknowledge the suffering caused by a member of my family who wasn't here to do it for himself. So first, with all of my heart, I'm sorry if my son has caused you pain.
The surnames Klebold and Harris resounded all over the United States. Dylan and Eric were the architects of a bloody day, one that would mark an entire country forever, and that left a deep scar on the families involved, a wound that Susan Klebold has tried to understand.
I'm trying to understand how his suicidal thinking led to murder. After a lot of reading and talking with experts, I've come to believe that his involvement in the shootings was rooted not in his desire to kill, but in his desire to die.
15 people died on that fateful April 20, 1999. 12 students, 1 teacher, and both shooters. Plus, another 20 were wounded. The motives? A very difficult question to answer, but one that Sue has tried to explain by pointing to her son's mental state, and also by criticizing U.S. gun policy.
And on top of this period in his life of extreme vulnerability and fragility, Dylan found access to guns, even though we'd never owned any in our home. It was appallingly easy for a 17-year-old boy to buy guns, both legally and illegally, without my permission or knowledge.
Ella, lo más probable es que entienda este fenómeno de una circunstancia un poco más compleja, es decir, varias aristas. La crianza, estructura social, la política pública, la concepción de familia, quiénes son los que están a cargo de la crianza, porque en la cultura machista los que están a cargo de la crianza son las madres. Por lo tanto, si un hijo es psicópata o se suicida, lo más probable es que la madre sea la culpable, pero en realidad no es responsable de ella.
The ghost of her son and what he did will stay with Sue forever. However, after the pain of such an event, Susan decided to become a mental health activist, since what Dylan and Eric did also triggered episodes of anxiety for her that she couldn't deal with.
I was afraid to turn on the news, afraid to hear myself being called a terrible parent or a disgusting person.
Sue Klebold was one more victim of the Columbine massacre, one who wasn't present, but who will forever carry a burden she wasn't prepared for.